Today I'm going to share some important tips, especially for newer riders, that I've learned through my crazy motorcycle history. Welcome to the Never Ending Weekend. There she is, the 2022 Ducati Panigale V4. I just bought it this summer. I remember when I was young and I was at a local beach, Wasaga Beach, for those close to me, and I saw this old guy on a 916, and I just thought it was the most beautiful bike. And I was wondering, do you have to be that old to afford a bike like that? And it's kind of taking me to this place, but more on that later. But it's a bone stock. I decided to get the non-S version. So let's try this. Kickstand. So my motorcycle history has been kind of a weird and wacky one. It started when I was about 14, went to a friend's cottage, and he had a Suzuki RM80, like a dirt bike. And he showed me how to ride it, and we rode around. I dumped it once, didn't ever tell him. But I was hooked from that point on. And just at the tail end of high school, I think it was about 88 or 89, going into university, I was able to afford a Yamaha Riva 200. That's a scooter. So many fun memories of waiting to motorcycles and getting nothing in return. You can't tell, but I'm smiling. But rode the heck out of that for about 3 or 4 years. Got like an unbelievable amount of traffic tickets for a scooter. Just goes to show you, it doesn't matter how fast a vehicle is, it's just the type of driving you do. Anyways, funny story with that is, I was working somewhere and there's this homeless guy who saw my scooter outside of where I was working, came inside and asked me if I wanted to sell it to him. He assured me he had the cash because he was selling, I don't know, these newspapers or something. He was living at a homeless shelter, and at the time I was thinking of upgrading to a motorcycle anyway. I'm like, if you want to pay me, sure, let's do it. So he came the next day, gave me cash for the scooter, sold it to him. A few hours later, the police come and tell me this guy got a ticket. He got a ticket for speeding, didn't have a license, didn't have a plate, and the last person the bike was registered to was me, and was impounded now. And I told him I sold it to him, and they were like, okay, and it went away. I don't know whatever happened to that, but that was a fun ride, the scooter. I love that scooter. Funny thing nowadays is you see all those electric kind of scooters or mopeds or whatever they are using the bike lanes and riding on the side of the road and cars passing them. I feel like it sets a bad precedence for other motorcyclists. Cars just think that they're like a bicycle, share lanes and stuff like that, but I guess that's a whole different topic. The next year, I guess it was 1994, I saved enough money to buy a used Honda CBR 600 F2. It was the last generation of that year. I loved that bike. I loved the look of that bike. And being young and stupid, I took it to the mall that night before insuring it, kind of doing the same thing the other guy did. I didn't insure it, I didn't transfer the ownership yet. Went in to watch a movie, and sure enough, it got stolen. No plate. Police officer taking down the report just did not want to hear from me anymore when he heard that I didn't have insurance or a plate or anything. Anyways, that was that. There goes all that money spent on that motorcycle. Next year, I save up again. This time I get a brand new, first gen for that year, ZX6R, Kawasaki. They revamped the 6R. It's a great bike. I got the red and purple livery. Always like to get the alternate popular color. Strong pulling bike. I was commuting to school downtown with that thing. And in a school parking lot, I was parked middle of downtown, and a bunch of homeless drunk guys came by the bike. And apparently they do this. They put a lighter, like a disposable lighter on. They put it on the gas tank and then put a lit cigarette on the lighter. and slowly the lit cigarette will burn through the plastic of the lighter, and there's a little bit of a fire. In my situation, ate through the gas tank hose, the rubber gas tank hose, and explosion, like literal explosion. I come out of my class, and there's the fire department putting on my bike, and I'll tell you, aluminum and magnesium and all these great materials they make modern sport bikes out of, great for making the bike light, but melts really quickly in fire. And it was, man, it was just a melted mess onto the ground. So that was a complete write-off, brand new. This year I bought insurance, but just liability, no collision, no comprehensive, and that was a write-off. Didn't get any money for it or anything. So fast forward to next summer, 1996. The police call me out of the blue right before the summer starts and tell me they found my bike, my CBR 600 F2 that got stolen 2 years ago. It had 30 more kilometers on it than when I had it, or about 20 more miles. Had a few scratches on the tail, but that's it. It looked just like when I lost it. Hey, look at that. You don't see that every day. It's funny. Anyway, so I get my F2 back. This time I insure it, but again, liability. I'm a starving, student. So no collision or comprehensive. And I'm riding like a hooligan again, downtown, going way too fast for the street I'm on, weaving 3 lanes at a time, go right from the left lane all the way to the right lane to pass a few cars, and didn't see a stopped car at the intersection waiting to make a right-hand turn right in front of me. And I slammed into the back of it.
I was just minding my own business. BAM! Hit me hard right from the back. I was glued to my seat. I was like, whoa!
Flew over. The bike stayed where it was, but I flew right over the top of it and landed maybe 12 feet in front of it, in front of the car. Bumps, bruises, no concussion, no broken bones. I can't even remember if I went to the hospital or not. But again, another write-off. That bike was a write-off. Actually, it wasn't a write-off. It was still rideable. It wasn't street legal. I bought all these parts to make it kind of like a naked Frankenstein type road bike. But instead I sold it to a guy who likes to do a lot of track days, and he didn't care about the fairings and whatnot, so I sold it to him. So that was 96. So that was kind of it for a while regarding my motorcycling career. Fast forward to 2000, I get the itch again. The last generation of that model R1, Yamaha R1. The best year, I think, in my opinion. Crazy bike. I mean, it kind of feels like that was the beginning of the crazy superbike era. Kind of launched the whole thing. So I was commuting back and forth from work with that bike, having a lot of fun, loving the bike. And I don't even remember this, but I was told I was going through an intersection, probably speeding a little bit, but not going nuts. And a young driver in a Mustang made a left turn in front of me, and I T-boned him.
There, and I was like, oh! Reality hits you hard, bro.
Completely the other person's fault. I had such a bad concussion, they took me to the hospital, and the doctor would say something like, I'm going to tell you these 3 words: pencil, house, apple. What did I just say? And I wouldn't be able to tell him. I wouldn't be able to repeat it. I had no short-term memory. But I got better. Over the course of a day or so, I was released. And really, I probably, in retrospection, went back to work again so quick, but that was a Friday, and Monday I was at work again. But that bike, again, was a write-off. This time, I learned, and I had collision and comprehensive, so I got money from that bike. And the next summer, I used that money to buy the brand new, the completely revamped Suzuki GSXR 1000. Remember, I had 147 horsepower at the wheel because I had it dynoed. I think I got under a 10-second quarter mile. I have the slip somewhere to prove it with that bike. It was fast. Well, it felt fast. It was chunky too. rode around on that with a friend. He bought one at the same time, and that was good times. I did a lot of track days and whatnot. Probably, you know, half a dozen track days, a couple of like riding schools on track. That was 2001 when I bought it. In 2003 I had for my first child, and I was holding that baby the first day, and I was thinking to myself, I can't imagine this kid growing up without a father, and I got misty-eyed and I said, I'm selling the bike. It's too dangerous. Well, fast forward to 2005 when I had my second child, and that's when I actually sold the bike. So I said bye to the Suzuki in 2005, and then from there a long hiatus. 10 years, no bike. But started getting the itch, and I bought a BMW S1000RR. Got a deal through a friend. It's kind of a dream bike, and you know, just suited up and rode again, and was enjoying life, but not on the bike. Because all I would do was commute on it, and it sucked in traffic, and I would never have the time to go anywhere, and it sat in my garage, and I insured it for 3 years, put maybe 2,000 kilometers on it during those 3 years, maybe a little bit more, but about there, and sold it because I never rode it. So I sold it in what, 2018. Now we fast forward to this year, 2022. Get the itch again. Hopefully the final itch, and buy my real dream bike, the Ducati Panigale 2022 V4, which kind of, it's full circle back to that old guy I saw at the beach. I'm that old guy now, funny enough, sad enough, but it's true. But yeah, so here we are. What a crazy history, really, it is. And the funny thing is, even though I've had motorcycles for most of my life, or at least spanned most of my life, my actual seat time hasn't been that much. You know, maybe 8 years. Well, if you include the scooter, maybe 9 or 10, but still. And I'm really, you know, unworthy of this bike for sure. This is way too much, but actually most of those bikes are probably way too much bike for me. But regardless, I'm on here. I'm going to be making some videos and some mods I'm going to do. Just some minor ones, because anyone who says they need more than 215 horsepower is either kidding themselves, a lunatic, or a racer. So no performance mods. I'm going to do a few small mods, and I'll capture that on YouTube and share it with you guys, and hopefully it's useful or entertaining to you guys. So until next time, if you have any questions about the Panigale, I'll just do a quick review shortly. Let me know and I'll cover them in my video. Until then, have a great weekend, everyone.